make sure if anyone else wants to join, maybe just give them like 30 seconds. But yeah, I love basing it off something that I physically created. I feel like there's less likelihood of any like copyright issues. And just with any new technology, obviously, you know, it's fun to play with, but you need to be careful in terms of like, I think minting NFTs. It's important to like do a little bit of research even afterwards that you've created it, but it's so fun to create. Definitely you know, let your mind wander as much as possible. You'll definitely be delighted with the outcomes, and hopefully even if this is your first time creating something in Midjourney, hopefully then you do come out with an outcome that you're really happy about. Thank you so much, Sophia, for joining. This is great to see some fellow painters here as well, that you can use AI based on your physical artworks, whether you're a photographer, whether you actually just want content for your social media, you know, if you're a marketer, or you just want something maybe even like a futuristic selfie of yourself. That seems to be like hype at the moment. A lot of people are using apps that you pay for. Well, you don't need to pay for it if you know how to use Midjourney. You can do free trials. And it works perfectly fine. I'm going to start sharing my screen now. I think we have enough people here. Thank you. Can you see my screen okay? Or is it gone? Okay, perfect. So this one here is what I want to show you, what you can go from. The picture on the left is I don't know why it's making a weird noise. The one on the left is a painting that I did physically with acrylic paints. I minted it as my very first NFT with 5 editions. So it's sold out. I minted it years ago. And the one on the right is something that you can create with AI based on your physical artwork. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. I want it to look pretty similar with the same colors, but I have no problem with it changing position. You know, it could change, it could rotate. I think it's even funner if it looks a little bit different, but definitely with the same colors is what I try and aim for. I try my best. Dungeon Master, welcome. Could you please mute your mic? It's a bit noisy. Thank you so much. Yeah, so this is what I kind of aim for. The background looking the exact same, but the colors and the strokes, I want it to look like an actual paint stroke, and not just something really futuristic. Sometimes I do that as well, but definitely for like painting, this is what I aim for. So today's workshop is going to be about how you can create a prompt based on an image source. It's actually really easy to do. I thought it was going to be much more difficult than I originally thought. But honestly, it's going to, I think, change how we view art. I think it's going to also be a really cool way, maybe, to have multiple NFTs of creation. You know, if you prefer to have something physical, especially in your house, you know, you can have 2 artworks or from it. So it's just a way to still have your own stamp on the artwork and be like, well, it's still based off my own artwork, rather than just going straight into AI and creating something there. I think it really backs up your own like artistic style, and really, yeah, I think it's really good to show that you're still able to create more artworks, you know, based off like something that came from a blank canvas. You know, it's quite daunting experience the first time to do. But like, as Sophia here knows, she's a landscape painter. She does beautiful skies. So this could be really interesting for her to experiment with. So if you go into Mona Discord, it's just underneath info, we have Midjourney. I hope like if I click this that it's going to change the screen. Probably not. Let me see. Oh, okay. I can stop streaming maybe, and oh wait, let me see. Stream, change windows. Okay. I got it. Perfect. Okay.
Yay.
This was me just messing around with it just a few minutes ago to make sure I didn't have any problems. So how we actually start to do this is, so any folder that you have, what you want to do is drag, so that folder that I had open, what you want to do is just drag an image. It can be a PNG or a JPEG, but make sure site it could be like, I think, is it JFIF, that won't work, but make sure that it's either PNG or JPEG, which is kind of standard. You can basically just drop and drag it in, so please try with any, it doesn't even have to be like a physical painting, even if it's like a selfie, or if it's a photograph that you have that you took even on your iPhone, please do it along with me. Just pick any random photograph just to kind of experiment. And just press enter then when you drop and drag it here. So hopefully a few of you are going along with me. Perfect, we already have one here. And what you do is, once you've entered it, so I'm going to enter this one here. So you click on the image and then go open in browser. And what that's going to do is give you basically like a Discord link. You're going to need that again to drop it into Midjourney. So that one, I'm going to click it here, open in browser. What you get is a cdn.discordapp.com link and a load of numbers. It's basically just your attachment that you're going to need to drop it and drag it again in here. So usually the first protocol with Midjourney is you do /imagine and then your prompt. So you still do it the exact same way, but it's just basically a step before that, that you have to drop and drag your image in there. So if I go to imagine, prompt, your prompt first is just that link. So this is the link that you get from dropping it into Midjourney. So cdn.discord.com. So it's completely safe link. You will need it. So what I do is, after every prompt, I close it with a comma. So once you close it with a comma, you can add in the next step. So say I want it to look the exact same. Sometimes I say colorful. Usually it takes I usually spell it like you, but usually it'll take like the American spelling. So you can say like colorful, or you can say, usually my style is kind of like cartoon, a little bit like animation, like animating. So usually I would follow suit with that and try and get it as close as possible to it. So you will need to basically say like black background again, because it kind of will change slightly. It might go like a navy color, might change it up slightly unless you specify exactly. So you want to try and get it as like specific as possible, because it's going to really be really creative unless you tell it what to do exactly. So if I have like, at the moment I think there's probably like 5 or 6 different colors there. You don't need to add in, like, you don't need to say exactly what colors are there, but I would say maybe if you want the horse to look in front, or if you want to look on this, to do that. So I could say horse facing, horse facing, might say like this. Sometimes you might get, like, if I don't say like portrait of the horse, you might get it actually the full horse. I don't really want the full horse, but let's see how this looks. I say portrait. Hopefully they won't confuse a human portrait, but we're gonna try it. So horse facing sideways. I kind of want it to look glowy. Oh, perfect. We have another one coming in there. Yeah. Feel free, everyone that's in this group as well, to drop in your photographs, because or if you're using a different Discord, that's perfectly fine as well. Maybe you have like some other tricks up your sleeve, that you don't want other people to see, that's fine. If your picture is like mine as well, not cropped, it's actually fine. Like, I have a ton of ones like that, that's like scanned from a physical paint, and the side might be perfectly cropped. You can do it later. It's so easy to do. Or I could do with a glow, maybe not glowy, glow. You can, as well as this, you can actually change the size of the image. A lot of people like that square image. They might want landscape, they might want portrait. There's a way to do that as well. The way to do that is usually with those two like hashes here. If you look it up online, it will give you this. It will say A or just means basically like the size dimensions. So if I wanted to do like 2:1, if you want like, let's say just for Instagram size or just for Twitter, they are slightly different sizes, I believe. Twitter is more I think actually more engagement. You get more engagement with landscapes rather than portrait photographs on Twitter, but with Instagram it's more square. So you can change it based on what you want, but I'll do that at the end. I'm going to keep going for now. I'm going to say I'm going to change maybe the hair. The blue, it's probably too much blue for me. So I'll use AI to kind of change that. Hopefully that will work, or maybe make it colourful, but maybe like white grey. You would usually see like grey hair on a horse, so maybe we're gonna get it more realistic. So I could use that word. You'd usually use a lot of, like we see a lot with super or hyper realistic. A lot of people use that with Midjourney to make it look really like high definition, really futuristic. I don't necessarily want that. I kind of like the style, old school style, if I'm using like paintings, but I would use that if I'm doing maybe a human, or like I did one recently where it was a futuristic, it was like cyborg, so I definitely would use it for that, but I do it right now. There's a lot of like copy and paste that you can use off Midjourney. There's loads of resources there, but I wanted to try and make it my own style. There's a way that you can do that. There's a way that you can actually copy. It's kind of like other artist styles, and that's on, not on Midjourney, but it's on another one. I'll actually I'll send you all the resources to it afterwards. Where you can have a look and play around with it, and it's going to be a really good tool for you to do if it doesn't work out straight away, if this doesn't work for you. Because Midjourney can take a while. You're never going to get it like with this prompt straight away. You're never going to get it straight away exactly what you want. It's good to, I think, start off with your own imagination first, and then you can take up like different keywords later, you know. And so I'm going to keep going. I want to make it maybe spotted a little bit. I tend to do that a lot with like spotted colours. And I could try that and we can see how it goes. I didn't do the background. I'll say black background just to make sure it is black background. I always spell that wrong. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to try that. I think that's pretty much that I want right now, but as long as it gives me somewhat the same outcome, then I'll be happy. So let's see what this gives me. Usually it takes a couple of seconds. You will see the prompts itself, so feel free for the people in it, so to do their own style. You don't have to use exactly my keywords. I think that's the whole point of it, you know. Don't like take other people's keywords. I think like take inspirations off people, but don't exactly take it word for word, like keyword for keyword, you know. So we'll see how this comes along. It's definitely not as colourful as I'd like it to be, but I can see colours are starting to appear now in the hair. I definitely wanted it to be white hair. Okay, so yeah, one is really cool. Let me see. Oh, it's still going. Okay, it looks a lot better. Yeah. So some has colour. I probably wanted it to be a lot more colourful on the body rather than the hair, but I kind of like the one on the third left. What one do you think is like better? What ones do you think looks kind of better?
I like the last one.
This one? Okay. So we go with the last one then. What the difference is with U4 and V4. There's a good bit of a difference between the both, but sometimes I experiment with both. If you like the fourth one, so we're going to click that one, but you might want it to look a little bit different. Maybe the eyes might change, or maybe when I click it, it will be a little bit more colorful. It's not going to change too much. This is the one that you want to click, and it basically will create variations of the fourth one here. U4 means basically it's going to be like upper scale. So upper scale meaning that it's just going to be more high definition. So if I click that, it's not going to change really at all. It's just going to give me that one image, and it's going to be like crisp, clear. So then, yeah, you could mint it. But like never has it happened to me before. The first prompt is like perfect for me. Usually I'm not really happy with it, but I keep going. And that's the point. So here are the different variations of it. It hasn't changed too much, but the position of the horse, yeah, it stays the same. Some of it looks a little bit older, like the third one here. He has like kind of veins going through. First one, there's loads of veins. Second one, he looks a lot younger. And then the last one here isn't around his nose is like really orange. I wouldn't want that. I like the orange outline, but I'd want it to be much more colorful. So one thing that you can do is if you were unhappy, let's say, with any of them, instead of restarting again and changing all of the keywords, what you can do this one. So the very last one will just basically like change up the algorithm, turning off you all the time based on these images that you're using. So let's see what this one actually is going to turn out for you. I'm excited to see how this one will look, and hopefully you will be happy with it as well. So yeah, you've used a few of the ones that I've seen before, like 16K, super detailed. So this one might come out like really like futuristic or really like animated.
And we do have
It doesn't take too long.
I'm sorry. We have another request in the chat.
Okay, let me check. The last one looks really like you.
Yo, you guys, that looks crazy. That is so cool. I didn't know you could do that. Thanks for posting this workout. This is super cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun, isn't it? Especially like your PFP, if your profile photo is a photo of you, or even another NFT that you've collected. It's a really good idea. I've done one before. I have a V1 punk. I did one with that before, and it turned out really good. Like not straight away, but within a few tries. Maybe a couple of minutes. It didn't take too long. It's really good. Let me see this one. Your image. You might need to send me the image. Let me check. So if I go back to Midjourney, so we just had a request to do one there. Can you drop in your image? Was that this image? Was it Dungeon Master? Let me check. It's the same person. Yeah, it is. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, cool. So in the same style as Gino's, add colors of their costumes, make it futuristic. Is this one meant to say realistic, I think? So I changed that. Remain the hair white, so maybe remain white hair, matte black background. Let's try it and see. What does this mean though? Satama. I'm not sure what that means. We'll try it. So yeah, feel free to pick which one of them that you like. Oh, you already did. Perfect. Yeah, there we go.
Desert Swan, can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, so it's already looking really similar to what you had. It can be a good idea as well. Let's say if there's something that inspires you, you could use it as well. But I think it's just much more, like authentic as well if it's something that you created yourself. People use it for similar logos. You can use it for just about everything. It can be quite difficult maybe to use. I'd say like if you're a painter, photographer, marketer, I'd say like creating your own content could be actually the most difficult if it's not something that like you created. It actually can be really difficult to make it your own. It's the most difficult thing to do using AI, and that's what I try to do as much as possible. Make it looking somewhat the same, but you want it to surprise you as well. So this one is cool. The only thing I would say is to see the background. If you click on it, there's like difference between the white backgrounds. I can see there's like a few different shades. I would want the AI to do that for me. I would want to say like specify like you have matte black background and it's giving you white and black. So like why has it done that? You want to make sure that it's understanding exactly. So for that reason I wouldn't click the arrow. I wouldn't like do it. I'd restart again. It could be because you said remain the hair white. I might have got a bit confused. So sometimes what you have to do is put the most important prompts at the very beginning. So keep it maybe second. Or you could do it third. It doesn't have to be the very first one. But like for my one up here, I did the background last and it worked for me. It might be because I had much prompts. That could be the reason as well. I haven't had a problem with the background before, but let me background. Yeah, you spelled it right. What do things like Q2 mean? Are there any ways you can make the quality come out more crisp? Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's much more ways to make it come out more crisp. So like what even, let's say, Z Creative Media, what he has done here is he did like 16K. He did super details. There's ways that you can do it like that. I just didn't want it for my one because I wanted it to look kind of like a little bit old, like a little bit like cartoon. But yeah, there's different ways to do it. You can do hyper this one or hyper realistic. These all are ways that will help, but again, it's all to do with what you want it to come out in. I think if it looks too crisp, it looks very much like artificial intelligence as well, and that's another reason why I try to stay away from it. I think a lot of people use it. It could be really cool for portraits, though, really good for that. Most people would want it for that, I think, rather than other things. So Q2. What does Q2 mean? Q2, do you mean U2, is it?
Sometimes people use like Q2 in the prompt, but maybe I might be mistaken.
Oh, in the prompt. Okay, I've seen it in the prompt before. I think I have used it once before. Is it used in his one? Let me just check. Q2. No. I have seen it before. I think it means it's not to do with the image size. The image size usually you would do like this. I'm not 100% sure actually. Like he's selected here even one of the photos, and you can still do more variations for it if you want. You can always go back as well. That's why I say like try and make it as experimental as possible, and be afraid to like do something completely different. But Q2, I'm actually not too sure. Does anyone know what it means? They're the same anime. Got it. Thanks. Sorry, I'm so bad at keeping up with the chat.
No, you're fine. And that's okay if nobody knows. But have you ever played with like combining two images?
Say that again, sorry?
Have you ever played with combining two images?
combine to what? Sorry, I think you dropped off.
Images.
Yeah, I have. Well, I've played with mainly just from like painting to another. Sorry, I haven't combined two images together. I believe that you can do, yeah. It could, if you have, let's say if two different animals, if you wanted that to show in, like obviously I can have several horses here, it doesn't have to be one at a time, or if I wanted, say, to do like several of myself, like duplicated in the background, you can do that as well. But I believe it's easier to just do it in the prompt rather than using like your original is going to be that, if that makes sense. We can go back to this one here. So because that it didn't come out with the black background, even on this one, it's like still going to be the white background. We can try and get that for you if you want. But like it'd be interesting to see if it would learn it in the next time. I doubt it. But we can try it and see. I think like if it doesn't come out the first time, especially with something simple like the background, you know, you want to make sure that you're not wasting time and see, because I think, or in like let's say you only use the one Discord, I believe it will get smarter. The more that you use it, you can actually train the algorithm yourself. You can train it to learn based off each attempt. And that's probably the best way. There's a couple of ways to do that as well, and I'm working on that at the moment. But one thing that I will send out, anyone that wants it, feel free to DM me on Twitter. Which is something that I'm learning a lot at the moment. It's really interesting to learn, especially for something that's based off your physical artwork. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like exactly. It didn't change much, but it looks somewhat the same. The background. It's not too much of a difference. If anyone else has any images, feel free to pop them in, and we can try and get maybe your new profile photo once we're already sorted. I like this one as well. I think the first ones that you sent looked even. They actually look more like you. One thing that you can do as well in if like a public Discord like this is, and I've seen lots of people do it with some of my previous artwork, like I can click on his creations, like say he did the first one and I was like, oh, I'm going to take the fourth one. People have done that before, and then you don't know whether you in that artwork. So that's another reason as well. Like, you know, you have to be kind of careful, I think, because anyone could easily like steal the artwork. So it's just something to be mindful of, I think, if you're playing with AI. And when you are using AI like this as well, especially like with your own face or your profile photo, you have to be mindful then the AI is like learning off of obviously everyone that uses it, and then learning off everyone's creation, so it gets smarter, more futuristic. Like in the space of literally like 1 month is a huge difference for AI. It's learned so much. When I first started playing with AI, it would not create like eyes as good even as this. Like this is as good as like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like it's that good. See the second photograph, the eyes don't look as good as it does in the third and the fourth. So when I first started playing with AI, it wasn't even this one. It was looking in opposite directions. It might look a bit, you know, a bit unrealistic. So it was really tough to do. With portraits, really tough to do with your own face. So update each upgrade. I believe Midjourney is on version, is it 5 or 6? I don't even know at this stage. Probably well more. But that was the kind of last update that I remember. But yeah, it's really good for, I think, social media content. If you want something simple, like if it's, let's say it was Bitcoin Pizza Day there recently, if you wanted a really good cartoon image of a pizza. You could add in the Bitcoin logo, little things like that where you don't want to just search it on Google Images. Why not create it yourself? At least then you know it's something a little bit customized, and your clients would be delighted that it's something that you created yourself. You know, it's like a portal that you're going into a new world, and then it looks like shooting like an asteroid in the lens. That's cool. So maybe for your face, you could either want it a little bit more high def, or it looks very smooth. I think it would look a little bit like Photoshopped, or it looks a little bit, too much like AI, that you can definitely try and fix that in other iterations. So you can either do more variations, or you can reuse the same product exactly, so you can use that again, and try and get it as good as you want it. I think that's all that I wanted to show you in terms of like using your own paintings or using your own photographs. I think it's a really good tool that we're going to see a lot more, especially in the future for students that are studying art. I think a lot of people are going to be learning this pretty much very soon. Midjourney, I have used a free trial for and pay I think €1 a month, just because I'm creating so many different ones. I'm going to show you like really quickly here different ones that I've created, just to show you how many different ones I have used. Where are we now? Change screens. Okay. So can you see my Midjourney now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I have a few different accounts. This recent one, 266 jobs. I was trying to create something here for a client. This was something I created for Turbo, the coin. And this was something I was creating recently for an open call that was selected. And I have been literally playing with it ever since. Sometimes, like, here's a good example that didn't work out well with the eyes and the hands. You're never going to get it exactly the way that you want it first time. But yeah, I have done a few portraits like that where you do want it to look very futuristic. I've used ones with my own face and tried to get it as simple as possible. So like a lot of these are still based off images that I had on my phone. The one with the turtle, obviously not. Mermaid, obviously not. Owl, not. These skulls are based off a picture of myself, and I asked it to look half like cyborg, half like a skull. So the neck is like a skeleton. And then everything else is real futuristic. I had some of this artwork was displayed at NFT NYC, and it's displayed in Lisbon. This is something that you can see I was totally messed up. This was, I think, one of the first ones 7 months ago when I first started playing around with AI. And this was based off the CryptoPunk that has Pirate Eye, and I used this one, I think, at the end. But what I did was I actually didn't like the eyes totally. I extended it out, so I just created it myself. Then I added a bit of black around to make it look like a proper pirate eye, like as if it goes around her hair. So then I used Photoshop at the end. So I think not always AI will do the full job for you. Like there you can even see her nose looks like there's a bit, like it's kind of wet or something, and it doesn't look pristine, like it doesn't look that realistic in my opinion. I wanted the purple there because it's like a purple background. But yeah, I would say use Photoshop as much as possible. If you can, try and change it, just in case that someone else ends up using something somewhat similar. These are all different prompts, but you can see that they look very much the same. So I think it is important to change it up a little bit. This one here that I created and this one here, I did mint both of these without changing it, but it was just because I was really happy with the outcome. I think it's very unlikely that that it happens. But I just thought that it was what I kind of had in my head, and I was happy with it in the end. So I think it's up to you what you want to, like, the reason why you want to use AI. But I think just be super careful with it, because it's very new and you don't want to be copying, I think, like other people's artworks or annoying anyone. So yeah, I just say, like, use it, but use it with like authenticity, and don't be afraid to try it as much as possible. Make sure that you do experiment, especially when there's new updates with Midjourney, that you do use it as much as possible and try and see the difference. It can be very fun to see, like, compare your first creation with like your very last.
So cool. Thank you, Irishnftgal. And I was also going to share, sometimes when I do my prompts, it's more so like based on dance. So when I do them, the bodies always come out like looking funny. So if I add like anatomically correct to the prompt, it helps to fix the body. So that could be a cool keyword to like help you guys with like fingers or like noses and stuff. But yeah, this was
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. I think, like, a lot of times when I do hands, it could have like a random extra finger, or it could have like an extra hand on top of it at random. It's just because it's not like up to scratch. It doesn't know exactly what you want unless you're really, really specific. So it could be a lot of keywords in that. I tend to make it as simple as possible when I start off, see what you get, and if you're not happy with it, then add more keywords to it. It's a lot easier to add to it than it is to take away, because then you're not sure what words to take away. So that would kind of be my my like top tip.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Are there any questions from anyone else that's listening?
I have a question. Irishnftgal, do you ever use Runway ML to expand your image from the square to maybe something like more of a landscape type aspect ratio?
No, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't needed to. I think it's important for you to do that, though, because if you're doing not landscape but like that sort of style, and trying to show the background in your photographs, it could be good. Have you used it before? Is it any good?
Yeah, I mean, it's not giving me the same type of results that I would like to see in Midjourney. I feel like Midjourney has more iterations that it goes through before it shows you like a final render.
Yeah.
But like, it is pretty cool. It's still usable enough that I used it in a few projects. But yeah, I was wondering if you use any of the tools on Runway ML.
No, there's so many different tools I have used for image size, and I haven't used any, but I think it's easier to try and do it within Midjourney itself. I know that there's another tool called, there's one that's very similar to Midjourney. Like, if you tried to use AI today and you weren't happy with the outcome, like, don't give up, like, keep trying. But I would say try as well different AI tools. Maybe there is another one called deepdreamgenerator.com, and I believe it's easier to resize images within that. I think Midjourney would be, probably a little bit more complicated for stuff like that, and I think it deters people from using Midjourney unless you're familiar with it. Like, I'm not an expert whatsoever, in Midjourney, but I have created things that I was really happy with. I've minted them, and I definitely continue to use it. I think it is the best tool, but like, for beginners, there's so many other ones that are probably way easier to use, and come out just as good. I think Midjourney, they're working a lot on updates at the moment to make sure it is the better AI tool for artists, and I believe it will be. So I'd say just keep at it and keep like messing around with keywords. And you, thanks so much for sending in the resource there as well, promptomania.com. Yeah, there is like different resources that you can use. Midjourney helps you out a lot. But I think they try and deter people away from using it as well, because they don't want obviously everyone using the same keywords. But I would say take 1 or 2, 3 max keywords and try and keep the rest of it to yourself. Try and play around with it as much as you can, because you're going to create your own style. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, because I will send you that resource for Stable Diffusion. I don't have it at hand now, but what it will do is it will basically tell you what your style is, and then you can copy and paste those keywords and use them for future. Like, you can use it on any AI tool. It's really handy. But yeah, always start off as simple as possible, and you'll find your own style.
Amazing. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay.
Don't be shy.
I was about to say, okay, I guess not.
Thanks for sharing your wisdom. It's very interesting.
Thanks, Andrew. And is everyone here an artist, or are you just interested in AI?
Well, I know Kenneth and Christian are both on the Mona team, so I don't know how much art you guys make, but okay, Christian says interested in AI. But yeah, I'm an artist. I don't really get involved with AI too much, but I am definitely interested in how it can integrate into any type of art form or creative process, just like you said. So with dance, I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah, I think you, like, especially with dance, you can, like, AI animations really cool. Really cool that you can change from like let's say one pose to another. Stable Diffusion is really fun for that with animations. It's a lot more complicated than Midjourney, so I think Midjourney is a great starting point to get the hang of your style and definitely play with AI first time. Christian said, just interested in AI. Have been messing with Midjourney to create images for my own fun. Your advice has been incredible. Thank you. I love your PFP as well. It's so cute. It reminds me of like Reddit. It reminds me of like those little characters. Kenneth said, I just started playing with Midjourney 2 to 3 weeks ago, so this has been really helpful. Oh, well, this is perfect for you, Kenneth, I think. Definitely when you're starting off. Like, I've created a few hundred images, but like nowhere near as much as I think a lot of artists, you need to be creating nearly thousands to find exactly what your style is. I think like that's your signature at the end of the day, is what your style is. You don't need to really sign any artworks. I think once you find your style, people will recognize that. Yeah, Andrew, are you an artist as well? I'd be interested to hear.
I'm a designer, landscape designer.
Okay, cool. This would be really nice for you, especially for social media. I think it's really important not to mint everything that you create as well. Like, look at, let's say, compare like people. He's not going to mint every single artwork he creates every single day, but what he did was he created like I think was it for a full year, combined them into that one image. That was really a really good idea. So I'd say like keep trying and use it as often as you can. Don't pay for anything as well straight away, because maybe you don't like it. Maybe you like it today and you won't like it tomorrow. So yeah, definitely don't pay for anything that, especially like we see a lot on TikTok ads right now, and they're trying to get you to pay for like AI apps. Definitely don't pay for them. You can do it yourself for free, is what I would say. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Yeah.
I'd love to connect with everyone as well. Feel free to add in your Twitter handles in the chat, and I'll follow you all now as well.
Amazing. Yo, Irishnftgal, you're the best. You like are a facilitator, but you're also a host. You know just what to say. I was literally about to say, if you guys want to follow Irishnftgal on Twitter, you can. Amazing.
Great
Thank you
minds
so
think
much.
alike.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Oh, thank you guys. This has been great. So yeah, definitely feel free to drop your handles in the chat so everybody can stay connected. Irishnftgal, thank you. We've had an amazing discussion on Twitter about AI, so really grateful that we got you here today to facilitate and share some of your knowledge with us. Hope everybody was able to learn something, get inspired by something today, and really looking forward to seeing some new creations with Midjourney. I've ran out of my free minutes, but hope to see you guys create something new. Yeah, thank you all. I will. Oh, let me share if you're interested in some events that we have coming up here at Mona. Tomorrow we have our weekly community call. If you guys are interested in attending that, that's at 2 p.m. Eastern time right here in Discord on the main stage. And 30 minutes before that, we have a pregame event where we go into the Monaverse and we play games. Tomorrow's game is speed friending. So we'll have like different topics and questions and be splitting everybody into groups and stuff like that based on answers. So looking forward to that. And then next week, no Mona Mondays because in America here it's Memorial Day. But we will have Variety Verse 9 next Wednesday. So hope to see you guys there. Our 9th performance showcase held in Mona. And yeah, and we'll have some really cool updates and things to share with you guys tomorrow. So if you're free, come through at 2 p.m. Eastern, and I look forward to connecting with you. All right, everyone.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. Enjoy your days, friends. Peace.
Bye. Bye. Bye.